Doug MPA back with another video. So I'm finally gonna weigh in on this Little Mermaid Disney live action foolishness. Put a little pop culture on my channel for a change. So you guys all know they recast Ariel as Halle Berry. Disney tried to say that if you don't like this movie, you're racist. They put that narrative out there because they knew the movie was trash. And that's the modern playbook. Race swap or gender swap a character and then attack the fans so they can't criticize a low quality product. Well, it's not working this time because we're going to talk about the box office. The Little Mermaid is failing. They tried to do all the cope they could, but the numbers don't lie. So this is an article about the box office numbers for the Little Mermaid remake. Before I get into this, like the video, subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it. It shows you support me and what I'm doing over here. This is called Is the Little Mermaid a Box Office Success? While the reaction to The Little Mermaid has been split along ideological lines, the truth behind the remake's box office performance is clear. This is 2 days ago. It says Little Mermaid remake of the classic 1989 Disney's animated film of the same name has become so shrouded in debate and politicization that simply liking the film or not liking the film has become less about holding a critical opinion and more about defending an ideological position and making a statement. And that is Disney's fault. Ever since, well, it started before Disney. Ever since 2016 with Ghostbusters, 2016, that awful all-female remake, that's the first time they started calling fans toxic and saying that if you don't like a movie with women in it or a race swap or gender swap movie, then you are toxic. That was the first time, and now it's led to this. While many people honestly felt the very idea of remaking the beloved 1989 film was pointless, if not sacrilegious, much of the criticism of the remake has, of course, centered on the remake's perceived woke agenda, because it is woke, specifically with the casting of Halle Bailey, a black actress, as the film's titular character in a traditionally red-haired and white role. So if you guys, there are a lot of traditionally redheaded characters that are being swapped to black characters. This is one of them. There've been a couple of others too, but really look at the characters who've been race swapped, and it's a lot of redheads. The polarization even extends to the perception of the film's box office performance, as the film's defenders have been over backwards, so to speak, to portray the film as a box office success, while detractors have been just as keen to portray the remake as a flop. Accordingly, while box office figures, like all statistics, can certainly be twisted to fit conflicting narratives, the current box office performance of The Little Mermaid, approximately 10 days into the remake's theatrical release, is already very telling in terms of deciding if the remake will be profitable for Disney. So let me break this down. They're going to get into it, but I'm going to say it right now. $250 million budget. I think $150 million in advertising, and then movie theaters take 50% of the cuts for the tickets. And most of these live action remakes got a really good international box office. Most of the international box office was more than the domestic, but that's not happening here because it says swimming upstream overseas. Released in North America on May 26, 2023, prior to the Memorial Day weekend, The Little Mermaid grossed $118.6 million over Friday to Monday Memorial Day frame, slightly ahead of the 2019 live-action remake of Aladdin, which grossed $116.8 million during the same 4-day frame in 2019. However, this $118.6 million opening weekend at the domestic box office was more than offset by lackluster opening weekend performance in the international markets, where The Little Mermaid only grossed $63 million, including a pitiful $2.5 million opening weekend gross from the all-important Chinese market. The Chinese are not having black main characters, dude, in movies. You know, it's China. You have to accept it. Although Black Panther did pretty good, but I think that was a one-off. As the previous live-action Disney remake films have made more money at the international box office than domestically, and by a wide margin, Little Mermaid is in very bad position to simply reach a break-even point financially, much less earn a sizable profit. These are the numbers I said before. With a $250 million production cost and a reported $140 million marketing cost, Little Mermaid, under the most generous of projections, needs to gross approximately $560 million at the worldwide box office, according to Hollywood insiders, to reach its break-even threshold. It's a lot of money, guys, and it's nowhere close. Nowhere close. However, this 560 million figure, which assumes a $300 million domestic gross and a 260 million international gross, also includes 100 million in expected earnings from television, both free and pay television, and then 100 million from home entertainment, digital, and DVD. People still buy DVDs? When's the last time you bought a DVD? Put that in the comments, guys. And 80 million from international television sales and streaming rights. Basically, the $560 million break-even scenario accounts for an exhaustion of the film's potential revenue streams beyond its theatrical life and leaves little possibility for the film to be able to achieve any substantial profit for Disney. And I am glad about that. Disney has been putting out garbage ever since Endgame. Marvel Phase 4, trash. All these live action remakes, trash. All their Pixar movies, trash. All their Disney animation studios, trash. And why do they have Pixar as one studio and Disney Animation as the other one? And then you have Mario Brothers eating their lunch. It's great. Lagging behind other Disney live action remakes. With its weak international box office, Little Mermaid has already fallen behind the box office pace and performance of Disney's previous live action remake films, not including the pandemic-addled 2020 live action remake of Mulan. Aladdin grossed 356 million at the domestic box office and a whopping 695 internationally, equaling up to 1 billion. Beauty and the Beast grossed 504 million domestically and 759 internationally to 1.2 million. Little Mermaid's nowhere near that, guys. It's just not happening. Stark contrast, Little Mermaid at the end of its second theatrical weekend had grossed 260 million at the worldwide box office. So combined, I think they had like a 66% drop off the second week. Given its current box office trajectory, especially in international markets, only recent live action Disney film The Little Mermaid has a chance of passing is Dumbo. So we talk about the plot, why the Little Mermaid becomes such a divisive symbol, and did the backlash against the film and the accompanying effect of the practice of review bombing has been suggested an adverse effect on the film's box office, especially in international markets where the remake earned a further discouraging 42 million in its second weekend for a current overseas total of 140.5 million. These numbers are rough, guys, but Disney, they're gonna have to learn, man. Get woke, go broke. Regardless of the reasons for the backlash and the film's box office performance, the numbers don't lie. Little Mermaid, which has presently grossed approximately 326 million at the worldwide box office, is a box office failure for Disney. Boom, there it is. Only remaining question, will the box office performance of The Little Mermaid and the intense backlash that the Disney received for the film affect Disney's approach to their future film and television projects? I will tell you, no, it will not. Disney gets most of its revenue from the parks, and they can keep going woke because they have enough park money to coming in where I guess they don't have to make any money anymore. I guess, is this sustainable for the intermediate? No, but for the short time, I guess. Short term, Disney's going to keep putting this trash out because we have Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny coming out and a couple of other trash movies this year. Did you see the Little Mermaid? I didn't. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section. Like the video, subscribe, and I will catch you on the next one.